Hi everybody, my name is Bob Wrench, I'm your photography instructor. This short lesson we're going to do today is called stops. Like, what is a stop? Well, a stop in photography is very simple. It's simply a unit of light. So you can call a stop like a gallon or an inch or something like that. It's just simply a measurement of a unit of light. So it's very simple. We also can break stops down into half a stop or thirds of a stop. So it's really pretty simple. Okay, so let's get started with what is a stop and how does it look in your camera. Very simply, when we begin to look at all the numbers and all the math associated with photography, we can break these stops down into a couple of different categories. Okay? Now the first category we're going to break down is what's called an f-stop. Okay? Very simply, an f-stop is simply the diameter of the opening in the lens. And that's all it is. It's nothing more, it's nothing less than that. Simply the diameter in the opening of the lens. Very similar to the iris or the pupil in your eye. Okay? F-stops are expressed in numbers. Okay? So let's start with a couple of the basic numbers. We have 2.8, 4.0, 5.6, 8, 11, 16, and 22. Okay? Now, when we start write out a string of numbers, in order to be accurate about what this string of numbers mean, we have to look at, does this number go this direction anymore, and does it go in that direction anymore? And the answer is yes, of course. There is a number further in this direction, and there are numbers further in that direction. But for now, we're going to limit this string of numbers to simply these ones. 2, 8, 4, 5, 6, 8, 11, 16, 22. We call these full stops. Okay? So one full stop. Okay? So the opening in the lens would be very big on a 2.8, and it would be very small at f22. Okay? Pretty simple stuff. The difference between any two of these numbers is one stop. So between 5, 6, and 8 is one stop. Between 8 and 11 is one stop. Between 4 and 2.8 is one stop. Okay? No difference in the amount of light between each number. They're both equal to one full stop. Very simple. Okay? The next unit of light or unit of adjustment that we look at is called shutter speeds. Okay? And these are expressed in fractions. 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, 1/30, 1/60, 1/125, 250th, 1/500, and 1/1000. Okay? Now actually on the camera, I did this so you could see, actually in the camera, this is actually expressed as 1/15th of a second, not 1/16th. So if we start looking at these numbers, do we see a pattern? And of course we do. 1/4 to 8, half or double. 8 to 15, double. 15 to 30, double. 30 to 60, double. 60 to 250, well, I missed one. There's 125 in there. I missed that one. So if we look at these string of numbers, we see that there's a relationship between each one. Let me add the 125 in here. And the difference between any two of these is one stop. From 250 to 500 is one stop. So now we're starting to see that photography operates in a convention. And that convention is a unit of light or a stop. Okay? So between 4 and 5, 6 is one stop. Between 30 and 60 is also one stop. Now our last adjustment we can make to the camera is called our ISO. Okay? And ISO simply stands for sensitivity to light. Okay? We have 3200, 1600, 800, 400, 200, 100. Okay? Now again, if we look at these, we can see that from 16 to 8 is half. From 8 to 4 is half. From 4 to 2 is half. So it's half or double in each direction depending upon which way you look at it. And again, the convention works here because the difference between 400 and 800 is one stop. The difference between 1600 and 3200, again, is one stop. So now we see that photography operates on this convention called stops. We call these ones f-stops, and we just call these stops. Shutter speed, a full shutter speed change is one stop. A full ISO change is one stop. So when we begin to adjust the camera, we now have a convention to operate on, which allows us to freely exchange one stop for another. Okay? So that's the basic understanding of the math associated with photography. In our next lesson, we'll start talking about how to exchange those numbers so that we can get the desired outcome we want to in our images. Okay? Thanks very much. We'll see you on the next video.